What's the most ridiculous military tradition you had to participate in? Fort Irwin, 2014. National Training Center, where careers are made and broken in the California desert. Our battalion was 3 days into rotation, demoralized after getting absolutely wrecked by OPFOR. Morale couldn't get lower. Then came the sandstorm. Not your everyday desert breeze. This was biblical. Visibility zero. Tents collapsing. Equipment disappearing. We're huddled in our vehicles waiting for it to pass when the radio crackles. All officers report to TOC immediately. Our lieutenant looks at us like he's being sent to his execution. If I don't come back, tell my wife I loved her. 2 hours later, he returns. Face blank. Won't make eye contact. When we ask what happened, he just shakes his head. You'll see at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Morning comes. Battalion formation called. All 800 of us standing in the sand. That's when it happens. Our normally stone-faced battalion commander strolls out wearing nothing but PT shorts, combat boots, and a pink flamingo pool float around his waist. His entire body painted desert tan. His XO follows, similarly attired but with a rubber duck inner tube. Gentlemen, he bellows, welcome to the revival of the ancient order of the Desert Warriors! For the next hour, we watch as every officer in the battalion performs what can only be described as ritualistic humiliation. They race across the sand carrying rubber chickens. They belly crawl under barbed wire while being pelted with water balloons. They serenade a mannequin dressed as Rommel with Britney Spears songs. The finale? Each must stand on an MRE box and recite a poem they've composed about their greatest tactical failure from the previous day, in front of everyone, including the visiting general. Our captain's poem began, "Roses are red, the desert is tan. I lost half my company when my plan went to hell." Turns out this was a tradition dating back to Desert Storm. Whenever a battalion gets completely dominated by OPFOR, all officers must participate in the reckoning of the incompetent ceremony to restore morale. The logic? Soldiers feel better seeing their leaders humble themselves. Hard to stay angry at an officer who's just recited bad poetry while wearing a pool float. Strangest part? It worked. We laughed until we cried. Even the general joined in. For our remaining time at NTC, morale was sky high. We still got our asses handed to us by OPFOR, but now we were having fun while it happened. The kicker came 2 years later in Afghanistan. Our battalion got pinned down in a bad situation. Comms failing, air support delayed, things looking grim. That's when our lieutenant pulls out a rubber chicken from his assault pack. Starts making jokes about, at least it's not as bad as that time at NTC. Tension breaks. The guys start laughing. Everyone refocuses. We make it through. Now every unit I've served in since has some version of this ceremony. My current battalion commander keeps an emergency rubber duck in his office for when missions go sideways. Military leadership books talk about building resilience through training and discipline. They never mention rubber chickens and bad poetry. But sometimes the dumbest traditions are what get you through the darkest moments. When I became an officer, I swore I'd never participate in something so absurd. Last month, after my platoon's epic failure during a field exercise, I found myself standing on an MRE box, wearing a pool float, reciting, "There once was a lieutenant from Maine whose tactics brought nothing but pain." My soldiers recorded the whole thing. It's probably on TikTok by now. But watching them laugh, seeing that burden lift from their shoulders, I finally understood the method behind the madness. Sometimes leadership isn't about being respected. Sometimes it's about being willing to look ridiculous for the sake of your troops. They don't teach that at West Point, but maybe they should. The rubber chicken now travels with us everywhere. We've taken it to 3 continents. It has its own set of miniature rank insignia. When we took a formal unit photo last year, it was hidden in the back row. The general noticed but pretended not to see. Some call it unprofessional. I call it survival. In a profession where everything is life and death, sometimes you need something completely absurd to remind you that you're still human. I'm up for promotion next month. If I make major, my first act will be ordering pool floats for the entire officer corps. Some traditions are worth preserving, no matter how ridiculous they seem. Just don't tell the taxpayers their defense dollars occasionally fund rubber chickens and inflatable flamingos. Some military secrets should remain classified.